Welcome, everybody, one and all. This is the 61st episode of the Unbanned Podcast. Jordan is still laughing from our amazing pre-show we just did.
I made Justin almost spit the water through his nose. You know how you do when you
definitely
make your
was
friends
almost through my nose. I went.
Justin at one point turned
Nothing
into a
happened
dove.
there. Yeah, that's
a stolen
true.
joke, by
Real
the way.
fact.
That's Bo Burnham.
I ate fish. Tell me which one of those is the lie.
We're going to play two truths and a lie.
Okay, what's your lie?
Jake was here. Jordan was here. Justin was here. Which one of them is a lie?
The answer might surprise you.
It didn't surprise me.
Well, I should probably tell them who you guys are. Yeah.
I
mean,
did.
no one cares.
This guy is
come on,
Jordan.
like-
His name isn't Fox or whatever. You know, he's cool. I like him.
Hey, everybody. How y'all doing?
I've got the best friends in the whole world bit. I have no consistency to my
Oh, no.
These are my two best friends in the whole wide world. Reverse it.
It doesn't
It
hit
doesn't
right
have-
with you, Jordan.
I don't believe
Sorry.
it. You need to.
What
I need
the-
to hear it in your heart that you love us and this podcast, and you would do any. I mean, hi Justin, how are you today?
I'm back in my rightful third place.
I think I always started with you from the very.
No, you always start with me and then go to Jordan. Now I'm back
Yeah.
to where I belong.
And this week, the Game Awards happened, and we were right about
Yeah.
Cyberpunk. And I don't think any of us
Yeah,
played any
hey.
games.
No, we played a game a couple days ago.
Me and Justin and Jake played a game. We played
with some
Jackbox
friends.
games.
Yeah, with some friends.
Yeah. And everyone was trying to give me shit for playing RuneScape while I played, but I was still funny, so fuck you.
I played
You were
I played
always last.
RuneScape the whole time, and I won Drawful twice. So
Did
yeah, I
you
won
win
it twice in a
twice?
row at the end, and then I left because I wanted to give you
Really?
guys a chance, and also had to sleep.
Indeed.
It was
No,
definitely the sleep.
you guys had no chance when I was there. I figured out the system
I mean, it's crazy. The game after you left, you
weird.
didn't win.
because I thought I had the system figured out. It's very simple. You draw badly enough that people can tell what it is when they have it in front of them. So I drew Night Terror, and it was a guy in a bed with a ghost hanging over him, and people wrote things like "guy in bed with ghost hanging over him," but it was
I put grandma coming back to
Yeah.
haunt you or something
something
like
random.
that.
But then Night Terror was there among all this like random bullshit, and everyone knows exactly which one it is. It was easy.
Yeah, or
He's playing the system.
yeah, I was about to say he did one that was even worse. Like I wish I had screenshotted it because it was so bad. I'm like,
Fog
what is
machine.
this? And I looked around. I'm like, I looked around. I went, New Jersey doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna go with that.
New Jersey was I wrote the word. Has it been 10 minutes yet, Jordan?
No,
No, it hasn't, but I've already ruined that. Don't worry,
Oh,
I'll bleep
alright.
it out.
I wrote the word above a bunch of blocks that were supposed to be buildings. That was New Jersey.
but yeah, everybody just wrote random garbage. And I'm like, New Jersey doesn't fit here.
No.
That's how you beat Jake, and that's how you find out Jake's stuff. So he cheats basically in Jackbox.
No, so
games.
the thing is, I looked up how to play Drawful because our friend Bo was complaining about not understanding how the points worked, and I'm like, Bo, the points don't matter. The point is not to win at Drawful; it's to laugh and have fun with your friends. That's the same thing as all the Jackbox games. You aren't really trying to win. I mean, you are.
Except
Yeah,
Trivia
Trivia
Murder
Murder
Party.
Party is actually just a trivia game, and not when you do try to win. But for the most part, you're just trying to have fun. The thing is,
I do want to talk about a game, one of the Jackbox
when I
games
looked
after
up
this.
the rules on the official Drawful website, it said, now you might notice that this makes the game not very interesting, which is why it's so important for you to make your own custom prompts for people. Otherwise, the game is not funny.
Oh, no, that's not true because we got two kittens,
That's
one
true.
cup.
Yeah,
That's
for
true.
one of them, that was jarring.
I couldn't believe that one was real.
So after Jake left, we played Bidiots, which is like bidding on art games.
So-
Watching Jordan fall apart through that and just go
So,
from this is fun
hold
to
on.
nothing's fun about
I
this
was
game.
having fun up until the point where I realized this game So hold up. By the way, I went and looked it up while we were waiting. It's within the first minute or two of the video. 5 minutes is fine. So fuck that game. Bidiots is a stupid ass piece of shit game. It sucks. No, Jake, do not interrupt me on this. You sit there and
stop.
listen. This game,
I have no idea what the game is.
this-
Are you okay?
I will explain.
I was
will
making
explain,
sure
Jake.
that
Don't
you were going to
worry.
explain what the hell the game was for me and
I'll
the rest of the
explain.
audience.
Bidiots is such a lovely
You
concept,
also,
right?
you also wait
You're
for Justin
given-
to finish laughing.
No, he can keep
No,
going.
we can't.
It's
No
really
one will
funny.
be able to hear him.
You haven't listened to the recordings. No,
No
we
one will
won't
be able to hear
ourselves.
Okay.
Anyway, so Bidiots is very simple. You draw 2 drawings. You're given $3,000. The drawings are assigned a random value. Your goal is to end up with the most money. So
And you get
this
hints
is
on your
hold
phone.
up. This is what is explained to you, and then you get some hints as to what paintings are. So it'll say like Muscle Beach is worth $3,900. But the thing is, all the people in the game drew the drawings. So they were given the prompt, draw Muscle Beach, but it might be a really shitty drawing. So you
That's-
don't know.
That's
necessarily what it
awful.
is.
Also,
It's
it
so
gives
good.
very similar prompts. Like
Yeah.
there was Muscle Man, Muscle Beach, and He Man.
Yeah, so you don't necessarily know what you're getting. And you kind of have to guess. So this is fun. Here's my problem. This is where I get into it. The fun in this game is you go, oh, wait, they're bidding on it a lot. They may know something I don't. I'm going to try to fuck them over by bidding it higher. And then if you look down and you go, well, wait, I don't think that's Muscle Beach. I'm going to try to fuck them over by driving up the price when I think it's only worth like $900, right? This is the fun, is you're messing with your friends and it's a back and forth. Okay, so
So actually,
I
let
tried
me
to do
preface
this
real
with
quick.
my own painting, and I figured out a rule it doesn't tell you. You can't buy your own painting.
Well, you can.
If you
just-
if you drew it, you don't get money for it. They take the money you bid and the money you would have profited. It is a complete loss, which is horse shit.
No, it's not. No, it's not. You're not.
No,
you didn't
I
understand
lost
it.
$3,000, Justin.
He's
I was
just
out of money.
absolutely-
I was out of fucking money. It took all of my money, Justin. They
So-
don't tell you about that rule at the beginning.
What he's not
Fucking
explaining
horseshit.
here is that when somebody buys your painting, you get half of it. You get half of however much was spent on it. So if somebody spends $1,200 on it, the drawer gets $600. If you buy your own, you get nothing. You still get
Yes,
the profit
but-
from the painting at the end. You still
But
get
they
if it's
don't-
$2,000.
You don't get the profit.
Yes,
I
you
did this.
do.
I lost all of it. It took all of the money. I bid $1,800. I
I
lost
know.
$1,800.
But at the end of the game, you had 2 paintings, and they were like $13,000 or $3,300 combined.
Yeah, but
And
this
you
is the
got
thing is,
that money.
the reason I was bidding on it is because I knew the value of it because I drew it, so I knew the prompt, which I understand is the reason why they say you can't do that. Also, I think we lost
I'm
Jake.
just marveling at your guys' argument. Yeah.
No, he's
But-
arguing. I think it's hilarious that he
Dude.
did both of the rules in the game.
So-
'Cause he screwed up both the rules. Because halfway
So here's
through the,
the
game,
other thing: is they give you a screw after like the second round where you can force someone to bid. So if you know a painting is shitty, you can force them to bid on it. Here's the problem, Jake: the screw is useless.
No,
It
it's
is
not.
no, the screw will never work when you want it to because the screw does not work if your opponent doesn't have the money to bid. However, it doesn't show you how much money they
Wait,
have.
What?
So every person who used a screw in the game used it when someone couldn't bid.
Except one person. One person did get a screw.
You, because
The-
you
no,
knew
no,
how the game
well-
worked.
No, one person screwed.
No, I think you're
And
the
then
only
I
one who got that
screwed.
because we didn't realize that was a rule.
No. One other person did. Half the lobby, because there was only 4 people at
Uh-huh.
that point. Half the lobby did get to screw people. The other 2 times were people trying to screw me when I only had $300.
See, but that's the thing is we wouldn't have known that you like unless we're metagaming the shit out of this, which we're not going to do with a party game, and we're adding up the amount you've spent in our heads, which no one is going to do. Most people play Jackbox games over the internet or while drinking. No one's going to do that ever. So unless you're metagaming the shit out of this game, you're never going to know when your screw is useful.
Sounds like you're taking it
which
a little too
completely
seriously.
fucks up the point of the game, which is you're supposed to fuck over your friends and have fun with it. Like, this was my experience going in this game. I'm just like, I'm never playing that again. That was fucking
it's
stupid.
kind of like if you've ever seen some of the like high profile people online play these games. For example, Carson, Call Me Carson, and his buddies played. It's a weird game. It's like you get a word and you have to define the word.
Oh yeah, dictionary.
Oh,
or
yeah,
something
I like
that.
that. I like that one a
too,
lot.
but it never works for them because they have a really famous clip where one of the people types "what the," and the problem is they're live streaming it. So "what the" wins as the definition, and the rest of the game made no sense. So they literally couldn't make any jokes. They cut this from the video after that point because they just sat there for 10 minutes trying to play the game and they couldn't because chat screwed them so badly.
Well, and that's the thing
Yeah,
is Jack
having an
Miller-
audience
go
is
on, sorry,
rough.
Justin.
Sorry, having an audience is rough sometimes.
Oh yeah.
Because that can happen. Like, I watch other people. There's like the one guy that everybody hates on, so you just make any joke about him, and that one wins no matter what.
There was
Yeah.
Schlatt had his card that he played in that game, which was big men, 10 hot steamy big men, and it didn't matter what part of the game they were at. He just put it in and he won every time.
Yeah, you
Big
do like
men.
Quiplash. You do like Quiplash, like Achievement Hunter did, and it was like Gavin's big stupid nose, and everybody's like, "Oh, that's funny." It's the fourth time I've read this game. It's like it didn't make sense. One of them, like somebody just put his big stupid nose, and it didn't make any sense. And it's the
Of
one
course
that
it did,
won.
yeah.
It's
like-
one of those things that like
That's why I don't
in-
like an audience.
yeah, or in like Cards Against Humanity, it's the big black cock, where no matter what you put it
You're
with,
gonna win.
it's going to win.
Or
It's a trump card, and
it's like all those examples Internet Historian gives in his video of businesses who put votes up to the internet, and that's a bad idea. Don't do that.
bad idea.
They will
Bad
they will
idea,
send Pitbull to Alaska, and he's a good guy and actually win because he's a cool guy.
Yeah, go Pitbull. Go to Alaska. Visit those people.
Yeah, there's a few examples of that
I
I can think of.
I
but
cannot-
it's-
Sorry, I have to talk about this. Taylor Swift, the Taylor Swift one, was 4chan users voted for her to go to a school for the deaf, and the school won. And they were like talking to the Taylor Swift team, like, no, you don't understand. They actually really enjoy concerts. Like, it's gonna be great. We'll have someone sign it. It'll be awesome. And then she pulls out. Dick move.
Yeah, Tay, go to the freaking
Come on,
school.
T Swifty.
Jeez,
So
T
mean.
Swift.
I
You
like
disappoint me.
legitimately. It was so
Taylor-
mean. I can't believe she didn't go.
Dude, like,
But
You can
yeah,
set
to
lights
finish off
too.
the what we
Light
played
shows
this
are
week,
cool.
it was that and RuneScape.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah. I think I played another game of TFT at
But-
some point.
Justin, you
I
want to know what's
lost.
a better transition and the reason I'm the host? Speaking of voting for
What?
things on the internet, the Game Awards happened.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Don't
also,
you
we were right about
transition-
we were right about Cyberpunk.
Yeah, also
Anyway,
we're right about Cyberpunk. Don't you ever try to transition for me ever again, Justin.
I mean, I was just finishing the conversation.
I
You
finished the
transitioned it.
conversations here. I'm the captain now.
I am the
King of
one-
the castle.
I am the one who talks.
By the way, the way I have my screen position, I'm looking off to the left a lot, so I'm like looking like
He's looking at me.
From my perspective, you're looking at me, but you know.
Anyway,
whatever.
so the Game Awards happened.
Yeah, they were
Hey,
kind of dumb.
guess which game won the viewer's choice one, guys?
Wait, viewer's choice?
I actually didn't see it. What
It was The
Call
Last of
Duty?
Us 2. Hey,
Oh,
guess
wow.
guess what won every single section it was nominated for? The Last of Us
2?
Part
Among
2.
Us. Among Us.
Guess which
Dude.
game won Game of the Year and beat out Hades? The Last of Us Part 2.
It also beat out games like I heard Final Fantasy Remake was really good. I heard which I still haven't played. It beat out Doom Eternal, which is fantastic. I don't know. I feel it feels like the Oscars. It is our version of the Oscars where the weird artsy thing will win, even if it's not necessarily as high quality as the other things.
Hey, you know what other game won all the categories it was in?
What?
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, No Man's Sky won a lot of awards.
It only won one award.
Although,
it was in 2. Shit, that was community support.
So Game of the Year, Doom Eternal, Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and then The Last of Us. The Last of Us won. Here's the thing that makes me upset. This makes me really upset. Best game direction. The director on a game is basically the visionary lead and also a manager. The Last of Us 3 is famous for having one of the worst crunch periods where people will having suicidal thoughts.
Yeah.
And
I feel like if your game had crunch, you should be disqualified.
It won best game direction? You weren't directing it very well then.
Yeah. Yeah. Cyberpunk 2077, best game direction.
We're going to talk about best directors. This director stabbed all of his actors twice.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on a second. Sorry, I didn't see this category.
What is it?
Most anticipated game. Fun
Elden
fact,
Ring.
2 of the games don't even have a name.
I saw that too.
Yeah. God of War sequel.
And Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild sequel.
They should have just put 2. Let's be honest here. Whatever those games end up being named, they should have named it God of War or God of War PS4 2 or whatever they would call it.
If you only have 4 nominees, just don't put it in the awards.
Well, yeah. Although it doesn't even matter. They didn't even need to put anything else. Elden Ring wins.
I don't even know what that is.
It is the next game coming from Software, and we have been teased by it. It is some sort of Norse-themed game. We know nothing else about it, but because it's from Software, everyone's like,
we do know one other thing about it.
That's going to be good.
George R.R. Martin wrote a lot of the lore.
Oh, I'm excited for that too.
I do. Great. I wish they would give us the percentages of votes. I wish we could see that because I kind of want to know who actually won Game of the Year and who didn't get paid for Game of the Year.
Won art design, by the way. I can't remember.
Did Last of Us 2 win art design? I'm going to take a guess that it's Last of Us 2
art direction was Ghost of Tsushima.
Really? Oh yeah, it's right there. I mean, Hades, it looks pretty good.
Look, Hades won 2 awards, and I can live with that. But who's gonna look at the art the art in Hades is so good. I could easily just get it tattooed on me right now, and I would love it for the rest of my life.
Let's be honest here. Hades won the easiest award to win. It was basically the best Hades game of the year, which is indie game.
Yeah, that's fair.
They won best action indie games,
but.
Yeah, the issue I have with it is it's obviously going to win Best Indie Game because it's already nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah. I mean, it was nominated for a lot of things, so I'll let it have that. But I just look at I've seen Ghost of Tsushima. It's a very pretty game. It's nothing I haven't seen.
I think that's the issue is yes, it's very pretty that you have bamboo forests and sakura blossoms falling and a snowy area. Awesome. It looks very good, but it's not a new, fancy, amazing art style. It's not.
Yeah, it's like if someone takes a photo and it wins an award because it's I don't know, even, or they paint something and it's really, really impactful. They usually don't just paint a landscape. It's usually because they did something new. Because it's we've had games that look like tech demos that simulate reality. We have tons of them. Yeah. And I mean, I'm obviously biased because I love Supergiant games, but their games are fucking paintings. All of them. They're so gorgeous. They put so much time in their artwork, and I want it to be recognized.
The other thing is
so
if we're talking about realistic depictions of reality, Final Fantasy VII somehow made a realistic game that you can go through the areas and see literally every single. It's like Resident Evil 2, where it's they took this old game and they re-rendered it in more realistic graphics, and it looks exactly like the old game still. It's incredible. That
is kind of insane, honestly.
I need some help here because I'm seeing another award, and I
Mhm.
don't understand the award. What is innovation in accessibility?
Accessibility being like the ability to
What me and
play
Jake always
it,
argue
the
about.
ability to
What won
we
it?
the
Last of Us 2.
what?
That's why I'm confused. I'm like, what is innovation in accessibility?
What did
And
it do? That is it because they had a trans person in it?
No. That would be Games for Impact, which Tell Me Why I think won.
Tell me why I won with that one. Yeah,
I actually don't know what Tell Me Why is about, but
You
I've heard it's
literally
good.
watched just.
I still haven't
play a
played.
bunch of it.
I still haven't played.
I watched him play it for like 10 seconds, and I forgot
Yeah.
what it was
I was
about.
about to say you were yelling about
So,
RuneScape.
This is one of those things where it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, if I were to give this to like a car and it's like best safety feature, it's like best safety features, you want to list the safety features. Like you want to show
Yeah.
what innovation did Valhalla add in accessibility that made it so that people can play it more easily.
Yeah, they didn't. They're just normal games. They're just pretty much AAA games. It's not like if we're giving it to just any game, we should give it to RuneScape because you can play RuneScape one-handed, so it's accessible to people who are amputees or people who have to like play with their feet.
I have to look up.
Like-
I have to.
Or
look
maybe
up
like
what
a
it
mobile
means.
game, because a mobile game, if you don't even have arms, you can play a mobile game by hitting it with your nose if you want to, or like playing with your tongue. Like that's more accessible than like a AAA
Yeah.
console game. I don't
Justin,
understand.
tell me if you find anything on this. 'Cause
Okay,
that's
so-
weird.
Yeah, I'm going on the Game Awards thing. So, recognizing software and or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by an even wider audience.
That sounds just like a pointless award.
Well,
That's
it
really
sounds
dumb.
like an award that should be
'Cause-
given when they have.
Does The Last of Us even have colorblind
I think-
options?
That's what I was asking. Is like colorblind options? Maybe
What?
maybe they did something with that.
Last
Hold on.
of Us.
It's like, I don't understand
Last
any
of
of
Us
these. Like, what does Hyperdot do?
Accessibility.
Yeah, there's an article for it. Okay, so
I'm so confused.
so it has text to speech, has high
wow.
contrast.
Okay, that's cool.
Lock on aim. It has audio cues for if you're deaf. Ledge guard, enhanced listen mode, invisible while prone, skip puzzles options. Oh, okay. So it actually has quite a few. It doesn't seem to have
Quiet,
color blindness,
quiet.
which
I have
if you're
to
going to put
read
all the
this.
rest
This
of
is
these, I feel like you
insanity.
should put that in.
It actually deserved to win this.
Wow,
it has
it has
over
quite a lot.
60 accessibility settings with expanded options for focusing on fine motor hearing and new options for low vision and blind players. They have a screenshot, I can't show it obviously, where it's literally grayscale objects for the entire level, and you and your ally are bright blue and all enemies are red. Just to make it so that if you have like a vision impairment, you can see it super clearly, like what's going on. And
Okay,
yeah,
fair
it's kind
enough.
of like
Fair
super
enough. They
hot. Where,
deserved it
like
then.
actually, you can tell all the areas and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah. Well, all right. Okay.
Sick.
Fair
I don't
enough.
wanna
We
look
were
this up.
nitpicking and we
It's
were
got
proven
full
wrong. I guess.
text to
Yeah, I
speech.
mean,
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Although I didn't see a colorblind mode, which confuses me. Why is there no colorblind mode? Is that hidden in the other
Yeah,
vision
probably.
options? Maybe they don't need it. I don't know.
okay, you know what?
That's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
Fair enough. Good job, Naughty Dog.
I
Stop doing the
also
crunch
like that. If you are fully able, you could probably play a colorblind, like impaired, vision impaired speed run of this, where everything's like high contrast and you just like pop everyone.
I would say
That'd be kinda
like,
interesting.
you're playing on an
That's
easy
what I'm
mode
saying.
when
Is
you
like
do that.
this is like, I don't know. Maybe that's in bad taste, but I feel like that would be fun. It gives. That's what That's what I've been saying for so long. Is like, even if you don't have a vision impairment, you could use these options if you wanted to. It makes the game look completely different. It's a completely new experience.
I mean, that is interesting.
I have talked
Um,
about it before, where I turn colorblind settings on in Rocket League so I can see my teammates and the opponents' names easier. I'm
Yeah,
not
for a lot
colorblind
of-
at all. It just makes it easier to see.
I actually liked that with League of Legends when I played it, when they got rid of red and they made it like it's like blue and purple, which purple's also kind of rough, but it's easier to see differently than blue.
They changed it to
apparently.
blue and red, and then there's an option to change it to a couple other things.
Oh, okay. Maybe
used
I
to
just
be,
have gotten
like,
in the habit of
purple
playing with
and
it on because I
green,
play with it
I think
on.
is what it was, and those were really bad colors.
I was about to say
Yeah.
green's like a really common color blindness color, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, and something about the shade of purple they used was also really bad for some reason. I don't remember though.
Yeah. But anyway, that's cool. Wait, I was gonna say, something I thought I just had, which I don't want this to go off on a tangent because it's not related to anything, but has anyone ever made a film or a video game from the perspective of someone who's colorblind or like even has like low vision?
Kind of. There's a video game where it's I can't remember exactly what it is, but basically I think I know what you're
kind
of like
about,
the
yeah.
whole environment's like white, and you can only see
Yeah.
in a very small area around you, and only when things make noise. So it's
Yeah.
like you're kind of seeing by hearing, and I remember that was kind of their inspiration for it. I don't remember if it comes into the narrative or not because I never actually played the game, but it looked really cool. Looked like a fun little. I think it was just basically a walking simulator, but if you're gonna do a walking simulator, make it interesting like that for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and find this because I know. What
Also,
you're
Jake,
talking about.
tangent. While I finds that, I was like upset that Devil May Cry 5 was not nominated for Best Action Game, and then I realized that came out last year, and I just forgot 2020 happened.
Wait, really? That came out
last year in March. I still haven't
Yeah.
played it yet, and Devil May Cry is like one of my favorite series.
I still haven't finished 4.
I did. It's really good.
Was it nominated in last year?
Oh, it won
I
last
think
year.
it
I'm
was,
remembering now. Like I went and looked it up.
Oh,
It won
did it?
Best Action Game last year.
Oh goodness, dude.
I just completely forgot it happened.
Okay, this.
I like that there's a Best VR/AR game. That's a lot of that's fun.
The game wasn't called Perception,
Might have
right?
been. I don't remember.
Because I looked up video game with blind main character, and that was the first one that came out. 2017. It says it's survival horror.
That might
so
be
I
it.
doubt
There was a like blind character horror game I remember, and that looked really cool too. Because when you think of the idea of like being blind, it's of course a little bit scary. If you're not used to it, you especially if someone is near you. I've never seen the film or the play, but it's what is it? They come at not they come at night. But it's about a woman in her house and she's blind, and like people invade her house and are like trying to steal from her, and they keep acting like they're her friends or something. I can't remember.
This sounds like Don't Breathe.
No,
but-
it's way better than Don't Breathe.
Okay.
There's a film called Hush that's about a deaf
Yeah,
woman.
I hate that
happens to
movie.
Yeah.
Is apparently
I
not
hate
very
that
good.
movie so much.
I've heard it.
I keep
Yeah?
looking up, I keep trying to find ways to say video games with blind characters, and I keep just getting Kenshi and what's her face from Nier Automata.
She blind. The main character from Nier.
I've never finished that game.
I mean, she's wearing a blindfold, so she's very
Fair
blind.
enough. I assume she like saw with like robot sensors or something.
Robot. Anyway, so have we pretty much talked about the Game Awards then?
No, we
Guys
gotta
got
talk
anything
about
else to say?
how Fall Guys won Best Community.
Dude, I'm so glad I wasn't there.
At
to
least
see
they didn't
the
give it to
chat.
League of Legends.
Yeah, I'm just glad I wasn't looking at the chat when when that happened, because it was literally just going to be full of dead game, and it's
For
just
Fall
not
Guys?
funny.
Fall Guys is having a little bit of problems
Yeah.
with their audience. It has dropped a lot, but I think part of that's just because they need more advertising or something. Because like I was watching the Game Awards and they saw that Fall Guys was nominated. The people I was watching restream it, and one of them said, "Wait a second, season 2 came out." Because they just didn't know the game updated.
Yeah,
I get
people
that.
just stopped paying attention to it because it didn't immediately release new content. And honestly, with the way that game is set up, it kind of needed it needs like weekly updates. Honestly, just small
maybe
ones.
That's part of the issue with it, is that the game, because it's one of those games that I would like to, kind of like World of Warcraft, I would like to play it once or twice a week, and I come back next week and I do it again at like the same time. I don't think it's one of those games that I would play 100% of the time, but I'll play it like a couple times a week for an hour or so.
Yeah, I agree with that. It always pisses me off because like I'll see on Twitter the Fall Guys account post something. It's like, oh, that's cool, and then I'll look at every single reply and it just says dead game, and I'm like, this is hilarious. I'm laughing so much right now.
Hey, you remember what we were saying about the internet and how you can never trust it completely? Yeah, that's the. I guarantee you, all the people who say dead game do not still play the game.
I was about to say, why are you even caring enough to say
played it?
Yeah, why do you care enough to keep saying dead game? Like, that's what I don't get.
Justin, I saw someone who they had posted on their Facebook page. This is a old school RuneScape content creator, and she's not very good at the game. She just likes to play the game, and she makes her stream entertaining and engaging. That's her whole thing. She just plays the game. She's not very good. She finally, after like a year of playing the game, completed Dragon Slayer 2. And the first comment is, "You just barely did this? I did this on release."
It was worse than that. He said, "I did this on my Iron Man 3 years ago."
I'm just like, fuck off. Who cares?
Yeah,
someone else's accomplishment does not need to be brought down by like, and that's how people on the internet are. They're like, someone else is enjoying something? Well, they can't be enjoying something. I'm not enjoying it.
Yeah, it was like, I see those people. I'm like, the people who made this game are making more money like every 2 hours than this person makes in a week. Shut up.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a popular game. It still has a decent player base. Like, it's very much not dead. Like, we could go after this cast and go play around, and I bet you we'll get into a match within like a minute. Like, it's kind of crazy.
Less.
Oh, Jake has food. Oh.
But yeah, just like other miscellaneous awards. VR game, of course, had to go to Half-Life, even though I haven't seen anything on it.
I've seen lots of stuff on Half-Life, and all of it says it's literally one of the best VR games ever made. And
that's pretty easy.
Like, the difference between, like, say, the Killing Floor shooter that came out a little while back and Half-Life Alyx is insane.
Just with how consistent it is, or like what makes it so much better? So, one of the things they apparently did with Half-Life that is really crazy is they have made it similar with Half-Life 2. They have such an attention to detail with like being able to grab things, interact with things, the way things move. Everyone always shows how you can grab those markers and just like draw on stuff. That's something that's really hard to make feel like you're doing that. And Half-Life just does it effortlessly. And that comes through with a lot of the game. You'll move around, you'll run into objects, you'll be able to interact with them very easily, even though it's a VR setup, which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
And something a lot of VR games have struggled with is actually making it feel like you're there and you're interacting with an object instead of you're playing a video game. Apparently, Half-Life Alyx, you kind of have to play it to feel it. That's how VR works. Unfortunately, it's really hard to get that across. In the same way that it's hard for me to get across, like, why clicking on RuneScape can feel really tactile and really, like, is really immersive, even though it's like a top-down view where I'm clicking on tiles. Until you get to the point where you're just kind of, like, doing it without thinking about it, it's hard to explain why it feels so good.
I think I can kind of explain it, by the way. I'll give it to you. So, first off, I have two examples, I should say. The first one is there was a guy who played piano, and he's also a gamer. And after Half-Life Alyx came out, he just went because they put a full-size piano in the game that is functional, and it plays exactly correctly. And after some working, he could play songs. And he went through and he played a bunch of video game songs on it perfectly. Because once you figure out the buttons to move the fingers, you can just do it. You can just it's like playing Guitar Hero. You just pick it up. If you know how to play guitar and you pick up Guitar Hero, you go, oh, Okay, so this is just like doing a regular guitar. It's just I'm only doing it up here. And then the other example is, have you seen those videos of the guy who has his wife play games? She doesn't game at all, but he like started introducing her to games to like see how she reacts as an experiment.
I'm the one who sent you the first one of those.
Well, I vaguely remember that, Jake, but I'm more like trying to present it. You don't really have to bring that up right now.
Thank you for asking. Justin, have you seen them as well?
Thank you, Jake.
I can send it to you.
You pompous asshat. Anyway, so he did a more recent one, which I don't know if you've seen this yet. Have you seen this one?
Yeah.
He did with VR. But the thing is, he wanted to see how someone who has never experienced games experiences VR. However, his wife has been corrupted because she's now played games and has started picking them up from his previous experiments. So he went to his parents, who have never touched a video game. And he found they took to VR faster than his wife took to regular video games. Because for like, he commented on like his mom with Superhot would just grab things. Because the buttons on a VR controller are right here. So when she would go to grab something, she would just instinctively grab a thing. And she would hit the button for it to grab it.
That was
so she at the end he said he showed her the controller. He's like, which button do you hit to grab things? And she said, I was hitting buttons.
Yeah.
She was just reacting and doing it. And that's apparently what Half-Life Alyx does, is everything just makes sense. The world is fully immersive because if you hit this button, it moves this finger that way.
I went and Googled them, by the way. It's Rasputin on YouTube.
Great videos, by the way. Very, very interesting. Go watch them.
I'm also
I'm
also a big fan of his recent video, Crafting is Pointless.
Crafting is often pointless. Anyway. I agree.
So, thinking of interesting, I could not find that game with the blind character, but I found out that Valdo is blind from Soul Calibur.
That makes sense. He's got the blindfold thing on.
Didn't know that.
Did you know Valdo's like the original simp? You know the reason he fights? He's defending his lover, who is like a king. That's the reason. That's his whole thing.
He's the oldest character in Soul Calibur. I learned that as well.
Yeah, I think so.
Weird how I don't know. Crazy spider crawly dude. This is the gay one.
You know, it's weird how they did that. But anyway.
Excuse me.
Look. Sick of that shit. That's what he is.
Can I just flex one more time and say, hey guys, remember how we said the hype will never be worth it? It's never gonna live up to the hype. Yeah, no, it didn't live up to the hype.
Okay, so sorry to break the fourth wall here.
Yeah.
But we did talk about this a little bit.
We did.
And it wasn't that it wasn't a great game. It wasn't finished. And that was something we said as well.
Everything I've heard about Cyberpunk 2077 is that the game is great. I've watched Dan's Gaming talk about this game for a long time, and he's been streaming it since it came out. And apparently he hasn't finished the main storyline yet because the side quests are so engaging.
Yeah. Although then again, I went and asked my roommate about it because he's been playing a lot.
Hold up.
And I was like, so you've been enjoying...
I won't use his roommate's name.
Yeah.
I don't like his opinion on games.
I don't either. However, he did point out something kind of interesting about Cyberpunk because he played a game that's kind of similar to Cyberpunk recently as far as AAA open world. He played Red Dead Redemption 2 at launch, and he played that game like 200 hours. Like, this was back when Jake lived with me, with this roommate. He didn't do anything but play Red Dead Redemption 2 for like 2 months. Basically, because that's how he does. He picks up a game and that's like what he plays for however long. But with Red Dead Redemption 2, he literally like played through the whole story and like 100%ed it, and he never did anything else. And something he kind of pointed out is that Cyberpunk isn't just buggy, it's missing key systems that you would expect in a game like this. Like, if you get caught by the police, apparently, the police just appear. They don't run up. They don't drive up. They just poof into existence. And there's not really even like a system like what GTA has where you have like a star system or anything. It's just you're caught or you're not. There's not like a system where like Red Dead Redemption has this system that's really janky apparently and doesn't work that well, to be fair. But you can put a mask on and hide your identity, and it makes it harder for you to be caught. doesn't have anything like that or anything like stuff that you would expect this game to have because like Red Dead Redemption 2 would be like its next competitor, I guess, as far as like these huge open world games that are simulating reality. It doesn't even have a lot of the systems that game has as things you would normally expect, which is weird. And that's why I'm kind of like, the game will never live up to the hype, not just because like you're hyping it up too much, but because the number of things this game has to do to give us what apparently like a game like Half-Life Alyx does or Dark Souls for me does, where it just feels perfect. It's got to check 2,000 boxes. And even if it's a good game and a great game, it's never going to do it because you just don't have the time. It would be Star Citizen. You'd be working on that game for the next 20 years, crowdfunding it constantly, having people buy $10,000 fucking cars. It's just like you can't make.
As a quick side note, since you mentioned Star Citizen, Elite Odyssey looks like what I wanted from Star Citizen, and I might have to buy it.
I didn't see the trailer, but if it has VR support, I might buy a Quest and buy that game because I've been wanting to buy a Quest.
It has the ability to disembark and shoot things, and it's an open world sci-fi game where you can jump in a ship with your friends, which is all I wanted from Star Citizen. And I'm gonna play it in VR because I bet it will have VR support on launch.
It's also so cool.
It's only one trailer, but it looks like Elite did before, so it's probably gonna run pretty well and be pretty good.
Well, I've been tempted to just buy Elite Dangerous, dude, and get an Oculus Quest to use with that because it looks
on
good.
Cyberpunk.
Anyway,
I have a question.
Yeah,
because I would not expect a game like Cyberpunk 2077 to have any sort of a police system. I wouldn't expect that.
Well,
I would expect it to be like I don't know, like what game? The Days X, like Days X, where it's like you can get caught in the area and then you deal with it that way. I wouldn't expect it to have an open world where you can like do a crime and get caught by police.
Well, Days X has a solution to that where I think in Days X, because I didn't play Mankind Divided, I only played Human Revolution, but I think in Human Revolution you just literally can't pull out your weapons unless you're in the areas.
Yeah, it's more like a mission type,
so they literally
like,
just
level setting than an open world.
Yeah. So with this though, because you can do things like take cars and you can commit crimes. So at that point, there has to be a reaction. It's like with Oblivion, once I can steal something, they have to have a proper system. And people always make fun of Oblivion and Skyrim for this because their system for this is fucking laughable. It is so easy to exploit, and it's really buggy, and just the responses you get are super funny. And from what I can tell is that's the kind of system it has, where it just, you can do these things because it's an open world that's simulating reality, but the system for the police catching you is more like Oblivion or Skyrim. And I feel like it needs to be more like a GTA situation because it's because of the way the game is, where you are a criminal. You can either work for the even if you work for the corporations, which I believe is one of the choices you make in that game. Having not played it, by the way, I won't be playing it until it's fixed. That's a system you would need to engage with, because even if you're working for a corporation, I'm sure they're going to have you like pull off crime, steal something for them, do things that they don't want to get their hands dirty, you know? So it's like I think you would expect that system. And the fact that like it's not addressed adequately, that kind of I think sums up the issue that I'm hearing about the game. Obviously when I play it, it'll be
more Witcher 3 than me. Could you get in trouble in that game by like attacking random people?
You know, so here's the thing: is in The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3, I never got to the point where I tried it.
So
I was too busy doing fun shit.
I'm kind of confused about, because what I expected from 2077 was the Witcher, where you make your own character.
I think you can. I'm gonna look it up.
Kind of like I wouldn't have, like I said, I wouldn't have expected that to be a system. So I'm kind of confused, and that kind of clues me in that maybe this game started off more like The Witcher, where it's like we have a main set storyline. It's a little bit more linear, and maybe you have areas you can explore, but they aren't actually fully open world. And maybe at some point development shifted, and that's why they have this half-baked police concept.
So apparently, because you can't attack the guards in The Witcher 1, I remember, but they kick the shit out of you. And I think they carried that forward because basically in The Witcher 3, after a quick Google search, apparently you cannot outlevel the guards. You literally have to break the game or cheat in order to defeat the guards. And the reason for that is Geralt doesn't kill guards or innocents in the lore of the game. So they wanted you to stick with your character and not just which I actually kind of respect, because I think taking away that little bit of freedom is good. Because you know the number of people I've played Dark Souls with and they just try to kill everyone and fuck themselves over? It's like, I respect that they let you have the choice to fuck yourself over, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, I play the game with people who've played like Elder Scrolls Skyrim and stuff where you can actually fight the guards and win, and then they'll go into like Dark Souls, or I guess in The Witcher, and they'll just start killing people because they think they have the freedom to, and then they fuck themselves over. And it's like, I kind of like giving people a reason to discourage them from doing that necessarily, but I don't know. I don't know how Cyberpunk exactly handles it. It's a brand new game and we haven't played it quite yet.
An article on it. Apparently it's exactly the way that he says it is. It's just like people just spawn. If you drive like 2 blocks away, they forget you exist. But here's the thing.
That's so weird.
It's funny to me that we're using Rockstar as an example of that done better, because it's not.
I mean, they did ship a game that was stable. Their games always have bugs on release because they're so huge that there's no way they can get them all, but at least the game
It's ironic that it came up because Rasputin has another video about just this system in Red Dead 2 and how fucked it is. Have you watched that?
So
have you seen
this is
any
the thing
of the stuff?
No, but in Nakey Jakey's video,
Maybe it was
on Red
Nakey
Dead
Jakey.
Redemption 2,
It
he
might have been
mentions
that
this. Yeah, no, it's Nakey Jakey. He talks about how like in Red Dead Redemption 2, the system gets really gamey because it's clear they didn't want you to be able to get away with certain things scot-free. They wanted you to have to actually fight the cops and play the game. So like if you go and rob a train in Red Dead Redemption 2, the cops just know who you are and immediately appear, even though you're in the middle of the fucking desert, which doesn't make any sense for the Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
Which,
at least,
anyway,
that happens.
At least in Cyberpunk, they could have like made a drone spawning thing or something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, GTA 5 had an issue where like no matter what, it pisses me off actually when I was playing the game. Like you get 2 stars even, and no matter which way you drive, you start driving one direction, cops in front of you now. Like you see it spawn on the map. You're like, turn around, turn down this street. Oh, one there now.
The
and you're
worst
like,
part was when you
what am I
started
supposed to
driving
do?
out into like the desert area, and it's like, why are there so many fucking cops out in the desert in front of me?
Yeah.
How did they get there? They just teleport.
Like,
exactly.
I only found one way to reliably get away from the cops without like doing anything, without having to like weave streets and like play like this, looking at the map and then back of your car so you don't run into somebody. And it's literally just drive into the mountains.
This was another thing.
Yeah.
There's no other way. Upsets me about GTA in pretty much all of them is like, I like this progression of like, it worked really good for a Mafia game, for example, where you're like buying more of the city, and maybe by the end, there is no cop presence. Like you have to do like a bunch of killing before a cop will show up because you start progressing. I've always disliked how in Grand Theft Auto, I can be running around with a minigun and the cops still run at me like they're fucking Superman, just like, we have to stop that criminal. He is literally gunning down people in the streets. He has a tank. His buddy has a minigun. They have an attack helicopter. Like, at some point, the military would just show up and it would be a full-out war. And, like, that's what I wanted.
Yeah. In GTA, it's like, you got the minigun, and this normal ass cop,
He's
like Dave
9mm
the station down the street, he's got his pistol surrounded in cop bodies and exploded vehicles, and he's like, "I'll get you."
And
yeah,
you know, maybe that's what
freaking
Project Red was saying, though. Maybe they were like, you know, this is standard for the industry. Cops just run at you dumbly, so that's what we'll do.
Yeah. We went speeding, and the only cop we saw stopped us. So every cop stops you when you're trying to mass murder a city.
I mean, Skyrim does this as well. There's the meme. It's an old meme, but it checks out. It's, hey, you see that guy over there who just killed the dragon in 3 seconds and ate its soul? He stole some cheese, so we should go fight him. Yeah, definitely. That's a good idea.
You were talking about their buggy like detection stuff and stuff like that in Skyrim. I think it's spot on. You could put a bucket on a guy's head. Can you see through a bucket?
That's fair enough.
Sounds pretty tightly sealed there. I
am, in fact, a normal human being, and if you put a bucket on my head, I lose all sense of self. Sure. I forget I even exist.
Jordan, when you're standing on one side of a desk and I crouch under the desk in front of you, can you see me anymore?
That's true. You don't exist. You're no longer there.
I think Bethesda's had it right the whole time.
That just reminds me. No, that's too off topic. I can't mention that. I'll just say nukes and Seuss for anyone who remembers that far on the internet. Anyway, so
sorry,
yeah, it's interesting.
Me of nukes and Seuss.
I don't know. It was good. Go type it in Google. You'll find it. I'm sure.
We'll show it to you.
No.
We'll show it to you.
Of course you will. But
be on my Twitter after the show.
Is that the new segment? We'll show you after, Justin.
We'll show you after, Justin.
That's 2 weeks in a row now.
I don't think I ever showed you the one from last week, actually.
I feel, this is one of my things with open world games, and I like open world games. It's like I went and played Genshin Impact and Breath of the Wild, and I've played like The Witcher, and I like them. I like MMOs as well because they're also the same type of open world thing. They will always be somewhat broken unless you get to the point where you can just simulate an entire fucking planet and it all works perfectly. It's like, look at No Man's Sky on launch when they did try to do that and how broken it was. It is insanely hard to simulate the number of things that need to be in an open world game and make them mesh and then also make it a game. Well, it's like you can simulate a world and make it all work together, but it won't be fun to play. It'll just be cool to look at.
It won best ongoing game.
Huh?
It won best ongoing game, so it's doing great now.
I mean, the game's still pretty fun. I've played it since then. I want to go hop back into it, fly around.
I just realized that the Sentinels in No Man's Sky act a lot like the cops in Cyberpunk 2077. And I'm now just trying to think of an open world game that does not use that for their cops. And I cannot think of one. Well, they all do.
What do you mean? Where they just appear? They
literally all do. All of them just appear. GTA, Red Dead, fucking Far Cry.
Well, GTA, they do drive up to you. It's not like they're just like, they're right behind you. No. They drive up to you. You can see them spawn on the map.
That's what I'm saying.
Don't get me wrong. But they still have to drive up to you. They're not just there.
But is there any of them that don't just like, they like, are simulated like coming out of it and like chasing you or anything like I can't think of a...
LA Noire.
LA...
You are the cops.
Yeah.
you have to do that.
I mean, yeah, it seems like it's one of those systems. I don't know how this became our main subject, but it seems like one of those systems that just isn't paid attention to very well. But that's the thing with open world that I was saying is like all the systems are like that.
Oh, he found one.
They got gaming. What? Is it Saints Row?
Wait, hold on. It's got to be a Nintendo game.
Dishonored?
RuneScape has guards posted in specific positions that need to be guarded, such as markets where players steal or entrances to cities. They only attack you if you are caught stealing. If you steal an item from a merchant, they remember it, even if you world hop and you can't sell back to them or buy from them. For an hour, and then they forget you exist. But
real time.
Up until that point, everything about the crime system in that game works, except for pickpocketing the Artie Knight over and over again. That makes no fucking sense. But that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the guards. The thing is,
what games have good detection systems, by the way, is stealth games. Like Metal Gear Solid.
But the thing
those ones do.
You know
where
what
it's
I
like a key
remember
part.
too? There was a point in RuneScape where there's an exit leading to a little dig site, and a workman comes out of the city and goes by the guards and goes out to the dig site. This was, if you play RuneScape, this was in a Soup video recently, and he'll say, "Hey guards, how's it going?" And depending on what state the guards are in, his dialogue with the guards changes. So if you
It
kill
does.
both guards, he'll be like, "Hey guards, how you doing? Oh, you're both dead. Well, I'd better get out of here," and just like leave.
I mean, to be fair, it's not the only game I can think of. I can think of like Dishonored, the guards and the NPCs react
I need an
realistically.
open world game.
Well, I think that's the thing, is that a true open world game is never going to be able to manage a system because it has to balance it with everything else. But like something like Dishonored or Metal Gear Solid, then again, I haven't played Phantom Pain. I'm sure there's going to be someone in the comments who's like, "Go play Phantom Pain, you fucking dipshits. It's the best game ever. It simulates all this perfectly, and that's why it was so good."
So I played Phantom Pain, and I rode a horse.
Yeah.
That was it. That's all I got through Phantom Pain.
That was the thing that I heard about that game that was so great, though, is that you could ride up on a horse to your objective and like just go in guns blazing, or you could like choose. You could do all these different things to choose to do different ways. And the thing that was amazing is that they all worked, and the game reacted as you would expect.
Dude.
Which is the thing that I think this is the thing with Metal Gear Solid games that has just impressed me more and more, is that it's not just the Phantom Pain that's like that. If you go back to like Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, they were like that. Like
Dude,
everything just works the way you would expect.
We all know that exact moment when the first guard saw your footsteps in the snow.
Yes.
We
and
all
on a
remember
PlayStation
that
1,
moment. And
you
you're like,
went,
no.
your mind just explodes. You're like, holy
Dude,
shit.
fucking Red Dead Redemption
this is the best
doesn't do
game
that
ever.
shit. They
does.
put so much work into so painstakingly simulating your footsteps in the snow, but the cops don't follow them.
Does that mean that Death Stranding got too much bad shit? Because maybe what it was really doing was just trying to simulate weight as well as it could and make that a game mechanic. Maybe that's all it was. The rest of it was
If you
superficial.
carry too much, you'll be
Stranding.
imbalanced.
Death Stranding came out last year.
What?
Okay. Death Stranding
Yeah.
came out last year.
Yeah, it's been a while since it came out.
I thought it came
See?
out this year. So I was like,
2020 is just
exist.
gone for
2020
all
isn't
of
real.
us.
yeah.
It's almost over though.
Trust me, I was blown away when I was thinking of like the awards, and like I'm surprised I didn't hear Hideo Kojima's name 700 times because of Death Stranding. Because don't get me wrong, he's a great director, but I think he goes a little overboard.
Mm-hmm.
I think
He needs someone to
crucify
rein
me
him
for
in.
this. Crucify me for this. He's a bit overrated.
Whoa.
A little
Yeah.
bit. Some of his stories get
Whoa.
pretty weird, even the
Whoa,
Metal
whoa,
Gear
whoa.
Solid series.
First of all,
It's very important that
He's-
Quiet is
first of
naked.
all,
It's very important.
It's very
that Quiet
important
is naked,
that all
Justin.
that all of the boss ladies in Metal Gear Solid 4 are wearing skin tight suits the entire time, and that for some reason after 4 minutes or however long, you just are in this white room, this white abyss, and it's just you and this one chick.
And I mean, I would point out before that between 1, 2, and 3, all the Metal Gear Solid games, every female in the game at some point shows off her chest. Even the boss does, where she tears open her jumpsuit at the end to show you the C-section scars, and there's just cleavage. Every single female at some point. Sniper Wolf unzips her jacket.
No,
I swear to God she
incorrect.
does.
Incorrect. Sonny never
What?
did.
That's not a woman. That's a child, you fuck.
You said a female. You said
So,
female.
just to touch on, we end the show, unfortunately. As much as I love talking to you
Yeah,
guys.
we've definitely fallen off the deep end.
I don't know anyone who doesn't go, Hideo Kojima's great game creator, great developer, but he's a little crazy, isn't he? I don't know anyone who doesn't say that.
Yeah, it's just I hate to say it, but he tries too hard, I think, to do that, to be the crazy guy.
I don't think he even tries. I think his ideas are so far out there, and he needs a team that will be like, Hideo, let's bring this down a little bit, dude. We get it? You got a lot of crazy ideas.
You've
Very
been
unique,
making
but-
stealth espionage games. Maybe we should make one of those again instead of a Strand type game.
The first
This is the
Strand
very
type
first
game.
Strand type
One-
game, Justin.
Yo, this plays into the thing of a hype always letting you down, by the way. You remember the hype for that game? Anyway.
I want to give 2 quick shout outs real quick. And those two quick shout-outs are both Hideo Kojima, who is secretly in Cyberpunk, apparently.
Wait, is he?
Apparently, he's a secret character in Cyberpunk that's Hideo Kojima. He's
That's
also
hilarious.
in weird enough game, Gran Turismo 6.
I think he really likes that game, by the way.
If you look...
If I remember right, he's a
sorry.
Gran Turismo fan is the reason.
Yeah, because you like zoom in on the crowd and there'll just be random Hideo Kojimas. And I'm like, that's weird. Why are you here?
Hideo Kojima
Did
is
he
love.
work on
Hideo
Gran
Kojima is life.
No.
Don't think so, no. Dude, I'm excited. Apparently he's working on a horror game again, so we might get the PT.
Yes.
What?
Did
you not know that?
He can do it well. I think he can do it.
I think it can too, because it's more similar to
What did you say again? I'm sorry. I must have...
Oh, Hideo Kojima, he's working on a horror game, apparently. A lot of people have said that the next thing for him is probably going to be a horror game, which means we might get that PT thing that we thought we were going to get.
We might get Silent Hills, but
it won't be
not
Silent Hills, but you know.
Also, I really hope that he somehow gets to make another Zone of the Enders game, because that'd be really great.
Yeah,
these games are cool.
I don't want to say I wouldn't look forward to it, because obviously a horror game with Hideo Kojima's name is going to be real fucked up.
It's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin. You know what else
It's
is
me.
fucked up? This guy's name, his name is It Fox. That guy, that's Jordan. Is It Fox everywhere. That's Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. He has kind of a fucked up name. It's like a question. It confuses you.
No.
Yeah, what kind of...
Why
yeah,
are we saying my name's fucked up? It's a good name. What the hell?
You're immediately confused when you go in. It's like, well, what am I watching? A person or a fox? This is too much for me.
I think I'm a person. I am not. I'm not, in fact, a shapeshifter.
But you're asking the question.
Like, just ask the question. Don't think
Jordan,
too hard about it. Okay.
What? Ask the question, but don't get an answer.
Jordan's Fox
Sorry.
status will
You'll never
be
get an
confirmed
answer
on the next episode. Come back next week. And we also have Justin. He's dubious_Justin on Twitch, and he's on Twitter. He's on YouTube. He doesn't really use Twitter. He should DM me. Sneak into those DMs, Justin.
What was the last thing I said on
no
Twitter? It was
idea.
something funny, wasn't it? It was a few weeks. It was a few
exactly.
months
Like
ago.
that's the reason I don't remember. Anyway.
According to me, I'm a personal, versatile countertop magician.
Yeah, that's been that way for a while.
And if you like me, my name's Jake. I'm Jake the Jackal everywhere. I play a lot of RuneScape. And if you don't like RuneScape, you probably won't like my channel. But you can come back next week and see more of me doing this. And if you like this, go to patreon.com/unbannedcast, because that's where you can throw money at us and get special pre-show clips and outtakes when I find them. Which is pretty rare, actually. We usually just throw everything in because we're kind of shit.
We're not shit. We're funny.
Sorry,
Shut up.
We're funny. We're funny shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Shit. Funny shit.
Finally, before my co-host cut me off again, we would like to thank you all for watching. We love you guys. Stay safe out there. I'm cutting this podcast. This is the end.
Happy holidays if you celebrate the December holidays.
Yeah.
If not, well,
If you're in
I hope you have a good
Australia,
time.
Happy holidays.
summer.
If not, have a happy new year.
Yeah. Why is the new year always... Does everyone have the same new year? When did this happen? I'm having an existential
You want to know how this
crisis.
happened, Justin and Jordan? Colonialism.
What?
Because the podcast ended? Oh.
Colonial Marines? Oh, shit.
Let's get out of here. Bye, everyone.
Hideo Kojima started years. Shit!